Yo, Dan from WayWiser here, along with Rick, coming at you like Cleopatra. Just thought I would let you guys know what we've been working on this week and some new features we just launched. Cool, let me just grab my list here. Alright, first thing on the list, Cersei Lannister, the Tickler, and Gregor Clegane. Nope, that's Arya's list. Moving on, the WayWiser new feature list. First thing, we just launched polls, which come included with our trips and our trip ideas. It makes it easier for people to carpool plan, figure out a date that works for everyone, maybe figure out who's bringing what gear to a trip, and lastly, just general polling. I'll show you that in a second. Next, when creating a trip and a trip idea, you can make it private if you like, which means only people you invite to that trip can join it and see it, right? So it's an option for some of your more adventurous trips and trip ideas. And lastly, we now make it easier to invite people to your trips and trip ideas. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look. Cool. So starting with polls. For a trip, under the Planning and Discussion tab, you can now create various polls that might help you organize your trip. For example, a carpooling plan. Who can carpool, with how many spots in their car, where they're leaving from, etc. Maybe you need to pick a date that works for everyone. Maybe you need to figure out who can bring a climbing rope and who can bring quick draws, or who can bring what gear. And then lastly, any other type of poll you might want to poll all the attendees about. This is for a trip. Also for trip ideas, we have the same thing. Here's an example of an abseiling trip people are planning right now with various poll options that can as well, again, be created for trip ideas. That's pretty neat. Alright, next. When creating a trip or trip idea, now we have the option to make it public or private. Public means it's open to the whole WayWiser community. Everyone can see it and view it and sign up for it. Private means when you create it, you choose who can see it and who's invited to it. So maybe you just want to invite a close group of friends. Right, so lastly, when you finish creating a trip or trip idea, we make it pretty easy to invite people along. You can search through WayWiser members for your buddy. We have a list of suggested people. Just select them, then send them an invite. You can also put in an email address of someone and we'll flick them a link. And then lastly, if you want to share this with maybe a mailing list of people or lots of friends, just copy and paste this link, flick them an email. And if anyone follows any of these invites, even if it's a private trip, they'll still get access to it. That's pretty neat. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, any feedback, any ideas, or you just want to talk, message me, dan@waywiser.co.nz, or you can find me on the site. Thanks for following along. Until next time.